Everyone's ready?
Okay.
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 Great. Here we go. Starts in 3, 2, 1.
For myself, the test of a fine play or a fine performance is a simple one. After I've seen it, do I want to stay up half the night or maybe all the night talking about it? That's just what happened to me on the cold evening of February 3rd, 1938.
Putting a big wad of cat hair in my mouth.
The morning stream. There's nothing wrong with the food.
Hey, everybody. There is indeed nothing wrong with the food. Welcome to the show. It is November 21st, 2019. TMS show starts now. I'm Scott Johnson with Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian Ibbett.
Hello. Nothing a little salt and pepper can't fix.
Nope. This is all true.
Salt and pepper.
How was your night? Everything fine?
It was good. You know, we just kind of relaxed, just kind of hung out at the house. I did spent some time with Tom for ANTP recording stuff, and then pretty much it was just hanging out. We watched Executive Decision.
Oh, you're way ahead this week.
Starring a young Marla Maples Trump.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. She's in that? I didn't know that.
She is.
Oh.
I didn't know that either until last night. She came up in the credits, and I had to take a picture of it. And her name is right above J.T. Walsh in the credits. So even back then, she was known for being on top of someone who was usually evil.
Wait a minute, though. Was this before the marriage?
Yeah, she was Marla Maples Trump at this time.
Oh, she was. Okay. All right. Well,
yes,
it's a good gig if you can get it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. You know, she lasted longer than Seagal.
That's true. That's true. Steven Seagal, 10 minutes. Was it roughly 10 minutes that we made that up in our
J.K.
heads?
Grammer, no, she has lines. She's a flight attendant with Holly Berry. She's basically
Holly in that?
Berry's. What? Have you seen this movie, Scott?
It's been so long, I forgot she was in it.
I'll be honest, and this will come up a lot more when we talk on Saturday morning, but there are things that I attributed to Passenger 57 that are in this film that I thought, oh wait, I thought that was a Passenger 57 thing. Okay.
Oh, Always Bet on Black.
Always Bet. Well, that one I think no problem remembering that, because I think it would be a pretty bad line for Kurt Russell to say.
Yeah. Always
bet on black.
Always bet on black, he says.
Always bet on snake.
Oh man. Is this is probably what I like third Trouble in an Airplane movie for the show, I think. Right?
Oh, good. I don't know. Probably.
We had more than that. I don't know. So we had Passenger 57. We had this. Have we had Get Off My Effing Plane?
We have not. Oh, we did do Air Force One. Yes.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we did. See, again.
I don't think we did.
Really?
I'm looking right now. Hold on. I love this game. This is my favorite meta game.
It's a sad game because I think anything that I've seen since 2008, I immediately think I've seen for Film Sack.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. All right, Air Force. Okay, it's not in the first 300. Let's see if it's in the back half.
Okay.
Air Force. Nope, we have not done Air Force One.
We haven't done Air Force One.
Nope.
There we go. See, did we do Die Hard 2?
Die Hard 2 is not done yet. No. Die Hard 1, and that's it. Hold on. Yes, that's it. That's the only Die Hard we've done is 1. Which seems pathetic in 10 years. Why have we only done one Die Hard? Come on. Film Sack, get it together.
Especially when there's, Live Free and Die Hard and Die Hard on a Plane or whatever it would, Die Hard on Snakes or something.
What was the second? Second one was Die Harder?
Die Harder, yeah.
Die Hard 2, Die Harder?
I think it was called Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
Right. It is a stupid tagline, but it has...
Yeah, can you think of any movie where the original movie is named twice in the title of the second movie?
Hold on now. This is a good challenge.
Yeah.
Let's have a little mini question here, quiz question.
No, Dumb and Dumber does not count because it's Dumb and Dumber, and it's said once in the sequel.
Yeah, they don't say it twice. Oh, geez. They don't. I can't think of one.
I can't think of one either.
All right, chat room, find one.
Like, is there any sequel where the first movie title is just repeated twice? So like the first movie is Airplane, then the second movie is Airplane.
Yeah, or more airplanier. I'd even accept that, but I can't think of anything. Yeah, I don't think that's it. I don't think I think that might be the one. That's the only one. Weird.
Oh, you know what? The one I forgot. Okay, yeah, there was It, and then there was It Chapter 2.
Oh, Chapter 2.
Yeah. Chapter 2. Yeah, good old Chapter 2.
I really don't like Chapter 2. I also don't like when they put numbers in place of letters. Like 7 had a 7 in the middle of it.
Well, that was the first. Well, I don't know if that was the first one. That was the first one I remember. I'm fine with that one. But now it's just getting a little ridiculous. It's getting a little too over the top.
What was the Fast and the Furious did this? One of them had
8. It was 8, wasn't it?
Was it Fate of the Furious and it had an 8 in it?
Fate of the Furious. Didn't they do 8 in the title?
I think so. That's so stupid. I hate that. It drives me crazy. I mean, it's 7. You're right. 7 felt like the first one, and it was almost like, weird. That almost reads good. Okay, cool. And then everyone did it.
Everybody started doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Too Fast, Too Furious. Yes, that's it.
Did that have? Well, they just didn't spell 2. But one of them had, like, in the middle of it, I'm pretty sure Fate had an 8 in it. Like an 8 in the middle. Like, people put skate, and they put SK, and then the letter 8, and then a T or an E.
Just on the movie poster, they did F8, but then they spelled out the Fate of the Furious.
Right.
Or Fate and the Furious. No, Fate of the Furious.
And there's lots of games that do this.
It's kind of a dumb name, by the way.
What is?
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious is super stupid.
Yeah.
Fate of the Furious.
So something happens to the Furious, but the Fast is okay? The Fast gets through unscathed, but the Furious...
Oh, they'll get to the Fast. They'll get to those guys eventually. Don't worry. We're not done with the Fast. All right, well, that's all stupid.
Coming in a few years from George Miller, Mad Max. Max is really mad.
Oh, man. That's going to be bad. And they can't put a 5 anywhere in there. If they do that, I'll be mad at George Miller. Don't do it. Don't put a 5 in the name.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know where you'd put it, but don't put it in there.
You'd have to use you'd have to replace, let's see, you'd have to, so the title would have to have like an S.
Uh-huh.
And then the 5 would be the S. So.
Oh, no.
Mad Max. Scary Road.
Nailed it.
Scary Road.
I don't know. Road. It's going to be called something cooler. I can't wait to see what they do. All right, so I have a cautionary tale I'd like to share with everybody.
Caution me, Scott.
I feel like once in a while we have a responsibility and an opportunity, given the voice we have, the audience we have, we can kind of put information out there that will help people in their daily lives.
Sure.
And so today, I would like to offer the following bit of advice. If you are trying to eliminate processed sugar from your life, as I am, I'm off the shug, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can just eliminate sugar altogether, or you can also do that, but then supplement here and there artificial sweeteners in something. Like if you just got to get by or whatever. Kim made,
like in my coffee, for example. I
exactly
use an artificial sweetener.
Exactly. Kim made for example, a batch of cookies that were peanut butter cookies that were mostly peanut butter, some egg to hold it together instead of flour, and an artificial sweetener.
Sure.
100% zero sugar.
Zero
and,
calories.
Yeah, and very low, well, some calories.
Zero sugar calories.
Yeah. But low calories, high in protein. Like they were better for me than some sugar cookies, the point. And they were great. So that's what you aim for. You try to find alternatives, so you can have a little treat once in a while. But for the most part, you're just trying to get rid of the sugar. Well, I have a cautionary tale here about Splenda specifically.
Okay. All right. Which is actually the thing I use. So I can't wait to hear this.
I'm going to assume that you use Splenda sparingly, and that's good.
Very. Yeah. Based on an article I read kind of talking about sucralose and aspartame and all those, I use Splenda, but I use it very sparingly because lab rats. Ooh.
This is what I found out. So and this isn't even one of those, artificial sweeteners are going to kill you. It's not one of those deals. This is not the caution. The caution is this.
Oh, no, there are small children in Indonesia who make Splenda. You're going to tell me that my carbon footprint is...
Well, here's how it works. Splenda is made with the use of sugar, and then they add chlorine to it. Now, that's fine. This isn't to freak you out. That's just as a I'm not talking about, like, pool chlorine or anything.
It's not to freak me out, because it's freaking me out already, Scott.
Well,
there's more?
There's more. So when they put that in there, what it does is it basically makes it so that the sugars that are there that still give the taste do not get absorbed by the body. They just go through you, and that's what most sweeteners do in one way or the other, okay, that are artificial. So this just happens to be their process, and that's fine. However, as warned on the bag, do I have the bag here? Hold on. Oh, I didn't bring the bag. Anyway, my wife got me some Jelly Bellies that are little jelly beans, you know?
Okay.
And you know Jelly Bellies, they got like flavors that taste like popcorn and, you know, like the real thing or whatever.
Oh, their juicy pear is one of the best.
It's really one of the best, and they have those in this selection as well. So anyway, she got these ones. They also got the little bag of the sour kind, which I like. And it says on the front, sugar-free, sweetened with Splenda. Now, below that is a red box with a warning that I didn't read. All right?
Okay.
And the warning, had I looked at it, said, for many people, this particular sweetener is super, they may find a lot of gastrosensitivity to this particular thing. And if you eat more than if you... they tell you how many. There's 3 servings in this bag, this small bag. It's not that many jelly beans, but it recommends eating only 2 or 3 of these to start with, to gradually get sort of used to the stuff. Well, I didn't read any of this. I just said, hey, a thing. I said a thing that just sort of tastes like sugar. Let's have some.
Yeah.
And I horked about 20 of these things down, no problem. Just eating jelly beans. Just chilling, doing stuff, getting work done. And I'm down here prepping for a show, and all of a sudden, I hear this sound, this horrible sound from down under. Yeah.
From Australia, you said?
All the way from Australia. My Australia. My southern tip.
Your ears rock.
Yeah. my own personal Aussie down there. Right. And I made a run for it. Now, that stuff is merciless. If you've had too much Splenda, it will tear you right through you, and you're on the can, and you're on it for a while. So I just want to put the warning out there. No other warnings, no other symptoms. It doesn't make me bloated or feel sick or tired or sweaty.
So try small amounts is what you're saying first, and see how.
Yes.
See if Splenda is right for you.
Yes. Don't hork down 20. Oh, I didn't eat them all at once, but I ate over the period of probably 45 minutes or something. I wish I could cop to it, but I really didn't. I just sort of popped one in every few minutes, no big deal. About 45 minutes of time went by where I ate like 20 of these. And man, oh man. So I just want to put it out there. Be careful. Splenda's got a warning right on the bag. It'll tell you. In every product it's in, it'll say this because they're known for it. More so than like aspartame or like freaking what's the aspartame kind you put in your coffee? It's got a name.
Sweet and Low is the aspartame.
Sweet and Low, yeah.
And then there's Equal, which I think that might be another aspartame. But then there's Stevia, which actually things are saying that maybe Stevia is a better way to go. There's a little bit of bitterness in Stevia, so I've got a eyedropper thing, because I learned this from Jim Carrey, that you get the little eyedropper thing of stevia sweetener, and then you stand on the chair of the booth of the diner you're in and drip 1 drop into your coffee cup, which has been put on the floor.
Wait, where did we learn this? What movie is this?
We saw it on a Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Jim Carrey did this whole big rigmarole of.
I haven't seen that one. I should watch that one.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, he's in Coming Off Crazy Mode, but they talk a lot about his Andy Kaufman possession.
How it messed him up.
Yeah, how it messed him up. But I throw in Stevie every once in a while and do this. But here's a thing that I want to bring up, because it's great that this is on a Thursday when your sister's coming onto the show.
Yeah.
Years ago, she mentioned this to us. She said, "Oh yeah, the Splenda gives you rumbly guts, gives you
she?
bad guts if you overdo it and stuff." So
I don't remember that.
yeah.
This is my problem. Retention, Brian. Retention.
Well, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. I couldn't.
I've been cursed with a trivia mind.
Yeah, that's good.
as our email that we're going to read in a minute can attest to.
Oh yeah, that's true. We got an email I want to read. This is great. So anyway, putting it out there, Splenda. Just beware. Have caution. Be moderate. Don't be dumb. Don't eat 20 of them. All right.
Oh my God, Monkey Bananas already has a great title that it's going to be hard to beat. Brown Under with Splendoria.
There you go, Splendoria.
I don't practice Splendoria.
Splendoria.
I ain't got no crystal ball.
I knew
had
I
a
should.
billion packets and I pooped it all if I could.
Oh, Jamie, you have work to do, Jamie. All right, so check this out. We got a free hotel room email. We like him. He's a funny guy.
Yep.
He's also very critical often of the show, and you've met with him, sat and had lunch with him or something.
He is a lovely guy. He's really, really nice, and that's why getting these emails, it feels like there's two Bobs, right? It feels like there's
yeah, there's a Bob you went to lunch with, and then there's this Bob.
Right, exactly.
He says the following. It's a bit of a rebuke.
Tongue lashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is. The country is Ukraine. Ukraine. It's kind of like Utah. It's not the Ukraine, Scott. Like Utah is not the Utah. So, Scott,
Well,
Ukraine is...
But we've called it the Utah, so we can...
That's true. We have our own little thing with that. Says, so Scott, Ukraine is not the Ukraine. I know. Look, this is actually something I'm absolutely aware of, but it's a bad habit and I can't help it. It's just hard to do it.
Well, and it's actually something that we were taught growing up that it was the Ukraine, and back then it was until 1991 when they got their independence and they took the off.
Right.
Which
it's hard to shake it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, remember when we saw The Fast and the Furious, and then they came out with Fast and Furious? We still kept calling it The Fast and the Furious.
All right, we did. I think it's just it's a bad habit, and it's questionable how bad. It's not that big a deal. I don't think it's that big a deal. Thing is, I listened to the hearings yesterday, and I listened to career professionals refer to it as the Ukraine multiple times.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
So I'm just saying it's not just me who does this. All right, that's number one. Here comes Brian's. Ready for this? Also, Brian, the Pilgrims escaped religious persecution in England. The Pilgrims were not misguided Italians. So think of Columbus and the Pilgrims as two completely separate stories, which they are. Completely separate. The Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock, Massachusetts. There is a rock there. A rock. Columbus was not at the same place. Columbus was not a pilgrim. All right.
So, well deserved, Bob. That was that was me failing at elementary school history class.
Yes. I mean, the main point I think we got across yesterday, which is that pilgrims dressed like idiots. They look, they're stupid.
We still have Sexy Pilgrim Lady in our Discord chat.
Oh, she's not going anywhere. We have to type.
She's right above Frog Pants added Brian Dunaway, Frog Pants removed Brian Dunaway, Frog Pants added Ace Detect, Frog Pants removed Ace Detect. Listen, if we would have had Nicole yesterday, Sexy Pilgrim Lady would be gone because she would have scrolled out of my view.
She would have been out of your view. She would have been an archive to the ages. All right. Here's what he also says. Get with the topic, guys. You're almost there. Then you missed it by 16% or so, which throws the whole thing off. Your audience goes away thinking Ukraine is the Ukraine and pilgrims are from Italy. Your stories are helping to make us all dumber. Now we got a little jury thing. I'm gonna send this to jury separately, but now that we've taken the heat,
I feel good that now the scrutiny is off us and has been now pointed over at Justin Robert Young.
That's right. We're a scrutiny. There it is. All right, here goes. He says this in jury's direction. Also, jury is trying to say the words cadre and archetype on your podcast. He doesn't know the words cadre and archetype. He attended Syracuse University. He mispronounces words like these on your show. Love the show and best regards, free hotel room. So the jury will now retire.
The jury will now retire.
All right, so he's really had his shotgun had a wide spray today. It hit all of us, and I don't mind it. If you want, listen, Free Hotel Room, aka Bob. Yeah. If you want to send these in on the regular, because I'm sure that we do this more than just yesterday.
Oh, for sure.
I don't have a problem with you correcting us.
We apparently do this 16% of the time. Listen, you know what? Bob, glass half full. That means we're correct 84% of the time.
Right.
I like that number.
Yeah, I like that number a lot.
I'll take being correct 84% of the time.
Yeah, our glass is 84% full. That's what we're saying. Here's the other thing for Justin. Yes, he did go to Syracuse. And yes, he did walk away with a degree in journalism from there.
Yeah.
However, he will be the first to tell you that he mostly drank and probably smoked a little weed. He makes fun of how college lets you kind of just party and do nothing and still walk away with the thing. Like, he's made a point of that. So I'm just saying, I'm not sure.
Well,
I'm not sure he went to every early morning 8 o'clock class is what I'm getting at.
Sure, and let's be clear. A journalism degree is writing, not talking. So he probably can spell cadre and archetype just fine.
Yeah, maybe. Was he? So I'm trying to. I don't know how he said archetype.
And before that's the 16%. I know that there are journalists on the news who speak and read the news. Don't lump this in the 16%. Yeah. It was a joke.
Yeah, we don't need another email follow up on that particular point. Yes. But here's the thing. I don't remember how he said archetype. How did he say it? You say archetype?
I don't know. Yeah, he might have said archetype. Yeah.
Archetype. Well, and cadre, do you say cadre? Like you'd say padre if you're in the Old West.
Carde. Carde B.
we gonna have a funeral, padre.
But listen, I take offense to the fact that we're making our listeners dumber. All right, let's see a show of hands here. If you feel like this show has made you dumber, pull your knuckles off the ground and raise your hand, and we'll do a head count here.
Yeah, I'd love to know. Like, if you feel like when you started versus now, are you dumber than you were?
Dice Tomato raises his hand.
Also, Dice Tomato, I think you're smarter because you know how to make an emoji that immediately is recognizable as you raising your hand.
Somebody raising their hand, yeah.
It's a small letter O. It's a small letter O and a / I've never seen that before. That's amazing. That's great iconography. I think that
you've never seen that?
No, I've never seen anybody use that before. I'm dumber. It's not them. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm dumber.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, no, we're not dumber because we've learned, right? We've learned by doing the show. We've learned things.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No. I mean, look at this email. We just learned about pilgrims and how to say the Ukraine not the wrong way.
Listen, Bob. The Pilgrims didn't land at Plymouth Rock. The Rock landed on the Pilgrims.
There you go. This is where Dwayne Johnson came from. I know all the origin stories. Anyway, we are happy to be both informative and dumb at the same time. It is our goal in life.
Yes.
All right.
Maybe it's the Splenda that's making us stupid, Scott.
Maybe. I was so annoyed yesterday because I knew what it was immediately. I went, it's those damn jelly beans. And they work fast. Like, that stuff works fast. It has a...
Maybe they should just rebrand that as like Jelly Belly flavored X-Lax.
I mean, honestly, that's how it behaved. And it did. And in the warning, it says, behaves like a... what's the word?
Stool softener, a laxative.
Laxative. It says behaves like a laxative for many people, it said in the warning.
Oh, yeah. Consumption may cause stomach discomfort and or laxative effect. Individual tolerance will vary. We suggest...
This is it.
Starting with 8 beans or less.
Yeah, and I went with 20 beans.
We just want the beans.
I mean, I really screwed that up. Because
John
otherwise,
NC State put a link in the chat.
Because otherwise, I've been feeling great, been no problem, no issues, all's well. And then the freaking jelly bean gate happened yesterday, and the flood happened. Anyway, aren't you all glad I've given you this TMI experience?
Actually,
you are.
It's a good learning lesson. The more you know.
See, and then
the less you'll go.
That was pretty good. The less
Thanks.
You'll go. Nice job.
Yeah,
that was really good. All right, we're gonna do this now. Check this out right here. Time for the news. Brought to you by.
What do we have, Scott? We've got something.
You got anything to do? I don't know. You got
Yes,
any-
actually, here's what I can tell you. Today on the America's Next Top podcast feed, this is cool. This is something we've never done before. If you heard the last challenge that we gave our contestants, we've given them something completely different than we've given them before. Usually we say, all right, go record a podcast, put it together and give it to us.
Yeah, I like that.
This time we gave them all the raw materials. We gave them an interview conducted by season 1 contestant Joe Hood. He interviews Ashley and Jason from Geek History Lesson and the Red Shirt Diaries, and throws so many, like, basically it's an interview where we made a list and said, all right, what are the most horrible things that happened during an interview with a subject, and we made sure that he did every single one of them in that interview. So number one, you're going to get the raw audio file from Joe's interview, and then later this week you're going to get the edited interviews from our contestants.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cool about this is you can now take the file you get today, try and edit it yourself if you want to try being being an editor for a day and see how you do with editing the podcast. So
it was such a dirty little trick because they didn't know at first. I mean, I don't know how many figured it out as quickly as they figured it out that it was done that way. But man, I didn't even know until I got halfway through those submissions.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. You should hear the raw audio. I mean, there's we've got a dump truck that's backing up in the background of one of them. At one point, he calls their show the wrong name.
That part, yeah. I think somebody included the wrong name bit in there.
I think
segment.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, worth checking out. That'll be up on the America's Next Top Podcaster feed, which is americasnexttop.podcaster.com.
Nice. That's excellent news. So do check that out, everybody. Let's get right into our news today, the important stuff.
Sure.
Did you know that esports gamers experience the same stress as pro athletes? A new study finds. Did you know
really?
That? Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Well, I'll explain. Professional athletes at the highest level regularly contend with not only fierce competition from opposing teams or individual athletes, but also intense psychological pressures ranging from performance anxiety, fear of failure, and tensions resulting from miscommunication, particularly in sports teams. Well, turns out professional gamers competing in major esports competitions experience those same stressors, according to a new study published by the International Journal of Gaming and Computer Meditated Simulations. Is it meditated?
Come on. They're sitting down the whole time. How stressed can they be?
How stressed can you be is the question.
Right.
Well,
computer-mediated simulations.
I said meditated.
Oh, you said meditated.
Yeah,
yes.
I meant mediated. Anyway, sports psychology has long been an active field, but applying it to esports is a relatively new area of research. So they're just getting started on this. This is from the University of Chichester in the UK. They're embracing with its newly launched BA Hans esports degree. I don't know
Hans.
Whatever that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Hans Bubby.
Oh, honors. Is that what that's short for? HONS. There's no period to
Bachelors of Arts.
Dictate that it's an abbreviation, but I believe it's an.
Did you say Bachelor of Arts and then HONS? Maybe that's a thing in the UK
honors,
that's like honors. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or they call it honors instead of BA. I don't know.
Bahones. That's the noise you make in some esports, isn't it? Bahones.
Bahone. Oh, he just killed. Yeah. He captured the flag. Bahone. First study of its kind. The objective was to gain a clearer understanding of just not the stresses of esports and how they face them, but also the coping strategies they use to deal with it. Birch said his colleagues decided to focus on Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO, to those familiar.
I like that they have to provide that. Oh, I guess because they use that abbreviation later. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I guess so. Because it is similar to physical team sports like football or rugby, except for the part where they're out on a field, I guess. It's a multiplayer first-person shooter game that pits teams against each other, terrorists and counter-terrorists. The terrorists try to plant bombs and take hostages, for example, while the counter-terrorists strive to defuse those bombs and rescue any hostages. And both sides try to eliminate each other. Players that do well are rewarded after each round, blah, blah, blah. The winning team takes home the pool. These competitions can range from $75,000 up to $1 million. More than 380 million people watch esports competitions in 2018 alone. And according to the authors, it has become increasingly professionalized. So the idea is we should study it. See what goes into it. We know the mentality. We've studied tons of things like the mentality of football players, and not just the physicality, but the mental impact and all that stuff. So we're getting to a point, a critical mass. So it's time to look and see what this is doing to our kids.
What's it doing? It's stressing our kids out, that Hearthstone battleground.
Won't someone thinketh, children?
So, John Florida, 1968. I should just say John FL, 1968. I don't know. He says that in the UK, a bachelor's or honors level covers degrees with titles such as Bachelor of Arts, BA Honors, Bachelor of Science, BSc honors, right?
Oh, okay.
That's so it's basically
UK thing.
Sounds like it's it can be used in place of saying a bachelor's degree as an honors degree. Gotcha.
Okay, well, that makes sense. They have something similar up here at the U now. I forget what it is though. It's an esports thing. I mean, they have degrees now for game design, but I don't remember what the esports thing is. They're doing something similar to this up here. Because we innovate at the University of Utah. Come visit our campus and we'll show you why it's a great thing to do.
Totally. Coolest logo ever.
It's pretty good. Okay, here we go. How about this? This is fun. A garbage collector in Thailand, or as my dad would say, Thailand. He always did.
Thailand, yes, the thighs.
Never got that right. Never could do it right. The garbage collector over there found whale vomit worth over $100,000. This whale vomit.
Oh no!
It just looked like some odd-looking trash to him, but it's some major money, Brian.
Is this what ambergris? This is ambergris, right?
I think so. Ambergris, yeah. It's used in perfumes and stuff.
Is it pronounced ambergris?
Ambergris. Abercrombie and Fitch. I don't know.
It's one of those words that I learned at Syracuse that I never learned how to pronounce.
Ambergris. Ambergris is the color. Ambergris is the color of your energy. Is what I always say. Thailand garbage collector is about to make major bank. Somsak Boonrith.
Ooh.
He's in the fourth wing of the new raid opening this weekend.
Oh yeah, the boss mechanic. You gotta have you gotta dual tank him, and
you gotta switch off. You got stacks to worry about. It's a rough fight against Somsak Boonrith. Anyway, he happened to stumble upon a large yellow wax-like mound on Tatur Tau Island in Sutan in the Thailand area there. Okay. Found out that it's actually this ambergris, a stomach mixture that comes from sperm whales. If you're still confused about what it is, it's basically whale barf. According to the Daily Mail, the nearly 5-pound glob is worth 80,000 euros, or roughly $102,678. That's not roughly, that's specifically.
That's very specific, 102,768.
Yeah, you'd say roughly 100K or 102K. You don't give the dollar amount. I'm surprised there aren't pennies at the end of that. My gosh. These guys don't know what roughly means. Anyway. Now, as disgusting as this may sound, it's actually used for many perfumes that you spray on your body. When it comes to making this into a fragrance, it passes through many stages. When first regurgitated from the whale, it floats to the surface of the ocean, giving off a foul smell, as one might expect. Once it's dried out, though, the smell becomes sweet, giving it a long-lasting effect that makes it a common ingredient in perfumes. The Natural History Museum has called ambergris floating gold. It is it's unique in its way and its costly uses.
So
yum.
But still, he saw a blob of yellow stuff and decided to pick it up and have it checked.
Yep, he did. I guess. I mean, maybe you're on the look for it. That he doesn't say, the actual Somsak Boonrith doesn't have a lot to say. But
what made you decide to pick up that yellow blob and have it checked out?
Yeah.
Somsak.
Yeah, Mr. Boonrith, Mr. Boonrith, or is it Mr. Somsak? I don't know which one's surname over there.
Thailand, I think Thailand is family name last.
All right,
I think it's just
I'm going to start
China
using this. When GURPS
Korea's Korea's.
Korea's first, yes. Lee Song-soo is Lee is first, and then that's my brother's name. I'm going to write this name down. Hold on a second. I'm going to say Somsak Boonrith. Okay, the reason I'm doing that is whenever I get into a game and I'm trying to pick a name, and then my GURP is taken, or all of my normal picks are
Samsak
taken.
Boonrith is going to be your new name.
Yep, I'm going with Samsak Boonrith. So that when I'm out there fighting in a battle royale or something, I can have somebody yelling on their mic, Samsak Boonrith, go left, or whatever, That's what I'm going to do.
Sure. All right, good.
I've written it down. All right.
Cool.
A man. We have a man in the news. Man.
Sure. Man.
We haven't done powers in a while. What's man's powers? Do you have one?
Boy, you've completely caught me off guard. Man, the ability to pee standing up.
That's a good power.
Yeah.
That works.
His weaknesses are shoe stores and I don't know.
Any lady clothing departments. Right. All right, a man.
Lady clothing department, changing rooms that don't have chairs in front of them. Excelsior!
I did this the other day, and it was the stereotype of me sitting there with my wife's purse on my lap.
Wow.
And I look over, and there's another dude in the same boat, and we just kind of looked at each other in this very acknowledging way, and then looked back at our feet for the rest of the time while we waited for Kim and his wife to do their thing.
That's awesome. So quietly, just like kind of you too, huh?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No words were spoken. They didn't need to be. All right. Where was I? Oh, a man accidentally dropped his engagement ring in the sea while proposing to his girlfriend on a surfboard. You deserve it! You deserve it! If you're going to do a whacked out freaking idea like this,
Did he record it in hopes that it would go viral?
I think he might have. I think it might exist in recorded form. Yeah. I'm not sure. But anyway, a man decided to get creative with his engagement by popping the "Will you marry me?" question to his lover while they were surfing the sea. I hate the term lover.
Lover.
Will you be my lover? It's such like the 70s.
Taylor Swift is trying to make that comeback. Her new song is trying to make that word come back.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
it's the one that goes da 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 da. You're my lover.
Oh, gross.
Like the song, the music stops and she just says, "Lover."
Hold on, I gotta mark that. That's pretty funny.
Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So don't make that come back. As far as I'm concerned, that died with the Spice Girls.
Taylor, quit trying to make lover a thing.
Yeah, quit trying to make lover a thing.
Oh, died with the Spice Girls. I see what you did there.
Yeah. That's the last time I heard it. If you want to be my lover. When's the last time you heard it in pop culture? It's been a long time.
Right. No, I can't think of it. Before that, it was your Billy Ocean and of course your Loverboy, the band Loverboy.
Loverboy actually had it in their name, sure. I can't think of anybody else. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, what's the state whose motto? Virginia, right? Is Virginia's for lovers?
Oh, is it?
I think that's Virginia, right? It's Virginia, I believe.
Well, West Virginia is for sibling lovers. Just kidding, West Virginia. We love you. You're great. You're great. We love you. You're not just meth and incest. I know.
Right. Oh boy. All right, good.
Yeah, get those emails coming. All right, where the hell was I? Oh yeah. So here's what happened when surfer couple Christopher Garth, age 38, and Lauren Oye. How do you say that name? Oye.
Oye, I think. I don't know.
She needs to be.
She has almost every vowel.
She does.
Like if she put an A and a U in there, she'd have every vowel.
She would.
Even the sometimes Y in her last name.
Yep. She needs to get that changed to Garth immediately. Get rid of that old name. Anyway, they were recently surfing in Honolulu, Hawaii. No one would have believed is what they meant.
Good job, BBNG News.
Yeah, good job, guys. Nice typo. Believed that Garth would propose to her while they were on top of the surfboard. Well, that's how it happened. They surfed Lauren and Garth. That's funny. They'll call her Lauren and him Garth because they don't want to say that last name.
Right. Oye and Garth.
Yeah. That's really stupid.
Oye.
Yeah. Party on Garth. What happened to my ring? Anyway, they surfed the exact same spot that they met years back. This is where they met. He dropped down on one knee on his board, took out the ring he'd been keeping in his little swimmy pocket, and then asked her to marry him. Garth had positioned the photographers to capture the moment, but was left stunned when his ring fell in the water. Turned out the ring used in the proposal was a spare fake one. So they kept he was smart enough to keep the real one on shore. Well,
which immediately now makes me say staged.
Yeah, this also immediately makes the story impotent. You know
right.
what I mean?
It's a completely bananas, not bananas, completely useless story.
Yes, it's just dumb. It's like, oh, he was okay. Here are your two scenarios. One, staged.
Right. Yeah.
Two, if it's not staged, he was prepared with a fake ring, knowing that it's possible you're going to lose the expensive one in the water. So this isn't a story. This is just either way, you lost a plastic ring that's not the real ring. Big freaking deal.
Man plans ahead. Coming up at 11.
Here's the next headline: should be "Man uses story that is lame and impotent by the end" on TMS. I am that man.
Exactly.
All right, we have another man. Let's do this man.
I'm sure if there's video of this, it looks like I'm sure it's totally staged. It appears like, oh no, oh. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Is he actually doing it? Wait a minute. This photo, is this the photo of him doing it? Of him
it's
proposing?
supposed to be,
Because
yes.
that's kind of cool. Like, if they're actually, I thought that they were like surfing out to kind of like a calm water area, but he's actually proposing while they're surfing.
Yeah, while
big wave.
while he's going. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
That's the headline.
Yeah, that should be the headline. You're right.
Not the man drops planned garbage ring in water.
Yep.
While real ring safe on shore.
That's right. I totally agree. She said yes, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
By the way, what is BBNG News? Be the first to know. I'm sure.
BBNG.
Yeah, I don't know what the
what's
BBNG.
the second B? Second B would be. Let's see. Be the first to know. That can't be because the B. That's not it.
I'm looking to see if there's a.
Oh, bizarre news. Wait, no.
No.
Hold on. BBNG.
BBNG News. Yeah, I got nothing.
I got nothing. I can't find it. We make typos, and then they spelled that wrong. So
I like this. For adverts and inquiries, they misspelled inquiries. News tip-off, no punctuation. Send an email to our official email, bbngnews@gmail.com. We reply almost instantly, but they put the T in front of the M.
Yeah, nice.
BBNG Twitter, BBNG News, and Linstagram, BBNG News.
Are you kidding me?
I wish I was kidding. This is on their last page on their contact us page. Like, it is so.
What is even the site? What is this site? This is dumb. It's got tons of stuff in here.
Yeah, it's a chum site.
It's got to be a chum site.
Yeah.
I love that term for those ads that are at the bottom of pages.
So accurate.
It's great. They got this one on here. Prince Andrew spotted heading for a meeting with his mother, Queen Elizabeth, after she sacked him from royal duties in the wake of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. You know, I heard that news that he was sacked from his royal duties, and I thought, oh no, what will the world do without Prince Andrew doing his royal duties?
Right.
Who gives a poop? What did he actually do? Nothing that matters.
Nothing. What did any of them do? Nothing.
All right.
They're just misguided Italians.
Yeah, I'd love to know what his royal duties, quote unquote, were. Come on. No one needs the royals are stupid. I like the queen. She's nice, but whatever, man. And I guess we got a show out of it, which is good.
Yeah.
The crown's good.
Yeah,
and the queen.
I haven't watched any of the new season, but
the movie's The Queen. That's very good.
Sure.
But we could do without it. We're done with that. We don't need monarchs.
So you're saying that she's really just there for our entertainment?
Purely. Yeah. What else is it? There's no governance happening. Sacked from her
there's
royal
something
duties.
that she still has the ability to determine or legislate. Isn't there something that they?
I mean, what are they? I don't know. Do they go and when the new prime minister is voted?
This is a good Zoe brings bacon question.
Yeah, maybe
Does
she
the
could
queen
tell us.
still have the power to bring bacon?
She lays it over each shoulder and then knights you. That's how it works.
She could technically oust a Canadian prime minister if it came to it, says the Crushinator. Really?
Really? She could do that. A Canadian prime
Oh,
minister.
she can break Italian parliament. Yes, that is true. I remember seeing that.
Well, you can come up with another way there. There's another way. Like we have
I
a
am the
vice.
official tiebreaker.
Philip, come here, Philip. We're doing it again. We're breaking a tie, Philip. Philip.
Right.
I just assume she's always yelling for Philip.
Of course.
Final story. This is also about a man. So we're going to do our final man story, okay?
Okay.
Not forever, I just mean for today. There'll be plenty of men in the future. Don't worry, men.
Sure. Boy, man gets around is
Yeah.
the theme of today's show.
Man is all up in it. All right. Man Without Pants. It's a great band. They were gone too soon. Just love Man Without Pants. Well,
You can phrase if you want to.
I'm not wearing pants right now. My wiener's hanging out. All right, here we go. Man Without Pants went to homes asking for a phone charger, says the Arlington police.
Oh, well,
Just had
new
no pants
headline.
on.
Man without pants nor phone charger went to homes.
You're right. You're right. We can just write this stuff ourselves. Let's see. A man walked up to Arlington police wearing a jacket and no pants in near freezing temperatures at the Arlington neighborhood that he was in. He's also in custody now as a result, facing driving while intoxicated charges. Although all the stories about him walking. But anyway, a man had been going to residences asking for a phone charger Wednesday night at the Arlington neighborhood. The one homeowner told Arlington police when they arrived that the man was naked. They identified the suspect as Waleed Taha. He's 27. He's from Irving, Texas?
Okay.
Texas, right?
Arlington. Yeah, if it's Arlington, not Arlington Heights, then Texas. The Star Telegram. I've been to the Star Telegram. Where is that? It's not in Arlington, though. It's the... Oh, yeah, look. The Fort Worth Star Telegram.
Oh, okay. Still Texas then. All right, we got this right.
Dallas, Fort Worth area.
This guy was knocking on all these doors. While they were searching for him, Arlington police came across a parked vehicle that was blocking a roadway near Waxwing Drive. Don't start any fires there. You'll melt.
Bet he's got bet he's got a USB port in his car that he could probably have plugged into.
Yeah, what's that about? Maybe it was an old car. I don't know. Oh man, I had the weirdest dream about you the other night, but I can't remember the details. I know it had to do with one of those giant Oldsmobiles your grandpa would have. And
really?
You, yeah. Somehow you were in this dream. I should have written it down because I woke up in the middle of the night going, why is that a dream? And it was you, this giant boat of a car built in the 70s. And it was like one of those just huge, you know the kind I'm talking about.
Yeah, like an Oldsmobile 88, right?
Yeah, like that. Like your grandpa would want. And you were in it, and maybe some other people were in it, and I don't remember anything else about this dream. It just all got taken away as soon as I woke up, or shortly after. I should have written it down immediately, because good show content comes from dreams.
No kidding. Yeah, I always like to hear about the times I'm in your dreams.
And I don't know why you were there, or why this car played a part. I mean, those are the two prominent memories: is you in this car, and I was in it somehow. I don't know. Anyway, that reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Officers did the sobriety test. He was later arrested. He was super drunk, and he's now currently in jail facing a DWI charge. You get a DWI?
Well, he needs scooters.
He needs scooters. Well, he may
You
have
can drive your scooters wearing a jacket and no pants.
He may have to. They'll probably take his license away, so he may have to resort to scooters. Anyway, there's that guy. That's your news. Man, what a full plate of daily news we've given today.
Yeah, and boy, if you're man, then I feel bad for you because you had a really rough day, man.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Good job, though, woman. You've done well. All right, Brian, we're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendy, the therapist, will be here. We're going to talk about this is like our annual look at how to deal with a hard family at the Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, yeah. Because we got Thanksgiving coming up in a week, and I don't know, here in the U.S., we're kind of famous for awkward dinners with people we are frustrated with. So we'll talk about that when we come back. But before that, a song. Brian brought it. He'll now tell us about it. What is it?
Yeah, so back to Australia. Don't know what the deal is. Well, I've been getting a lot of Australian indie music lately, but I've got another one. G Flip. Her real name is... oh, shoot. Where is it? I had this in here.
I love that name.
G Flip. Yeah, it's short for... like her last name is Filippo and her first name is Georgia or something like that. Anyway, she is a Melbourne artist. She is just having a great year because of this brand new album that she released called About Us.
Yeah.
She's been nominated for 3 ARIA awards, including Best Breakthrough Artist and Best Independent Release. It's good stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Here is her song About You. Here's G Flip.
I was too excited to sleep, for I'd just seen the first performance of Paul Osborne's On Borrowed Time. Here was a beautiful play, brimful of humor and affection. It was one of the best plays of that season, and it's one of the best for you now.
I mean, random.
The morning stream. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the program.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're going to call Wendy now.
Yeah.
Right.
What are we going to call her?
At the click of 10. I'm going to call her...
Call her Sis.
Sis. Should we do that? I've
Sis.
never
Hey,
done
Sis.
that. Not once.
Hiya, Sis.
Not
Yeah, let's see how she reacts to that.
Not one time in my life have I referred to any of my 3 sisters as Sis, so this is going to be interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I like this.
We'll see what she says. She's showing us
What's
offline.
shaking, Sis?
Hey, Sis. Or cuz. I've never said cuz, like cousin. To refer to a cousin or anyone else for that matter. Trying to think if there's any other version of that. Yeah? What were you going to say?
I don't want to say anything because I don't want to tip off anything, but do you think it'll phase her?
Yeah, she's gonna go, what?
Why did you call me Sis?
She's gonna be like, what are you doing? Like, meh. She always has a slight annoyance with me my whole life. Because
oh no, we hear that every week.
Yeah.
Like right as soon as she answers.
It's a complicated relationship because we're very close, Wendy and I. We always have been. But at the same time, I think I annoy her in a capital way. Like I think I vex her because I'm a little weird in the family, and I just have a feeling sometimes that's how that goes. Wendy, are you there? Oh, it's ringing. I see the ringing. The ring of ringing is happening.
The ring. What is it? What do we call that? The
circle of speaking.
The glowing rings of speakage.
Yeah, the glowing rings of speakage. Daryl called it that, or someone.
How about a clarification while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Apparently yesterday I did a show celebrating, as a tribute to the founder of the Jay Giles Band, a guy named Jay Giles.
Yeah.
He died apparently 2.5 years ago.
Oh.
2017.
Oh.
All I can think of is that I must have been listening to a rerun of a Howard Stern episode over the weekend where from 2 years ago where they talked about his passing. That's the only thing I can think of that must have triggered me thinking that he died this last weekend is that
weird.
It must have been a rerun.
Okay. Well then good correction.
Yeah, but you know what? There's my correction. And long time coming apparently. I shouldn't have been doing the show. So
how did we miss the Jay Giles passing? How did that happen?
I don't know. Because it's not Peter Wolf. I mean, Peter Wolf is the person everybody knows from the Jay Giles Band because he's the lead singer.
Right. Wait, isn't that also the kid in the Disney? Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Christopher Robin. I was thinking of Christopher.
Peter and the Wolf.
I was thinking. No, maybe I was conflating it because I think I was thinking of Christopher Robin for some reason, and that his name was Peter. I don't know why.
And then Peter Wolf came to the 3-acre wood.
Peter Wolf. All right. Well, Wendy's not answering, so I'm going to check with her and see. Maybe she's not seeing the thing or something.
Maybe.
So
maybe
let me pause and save. She shows online. Let's see.
It's true. Allura for real says, hey, you know what? Jay Giles is still dead, though. True. Good point. Yeah, I went back and I looked to see if anybody from the Jay Giles Band had passed away that I just misread the news, right? Like if Peter Wolf or Seth Justman or Magic Dick and his licking stick passed away, none of whom passed away. And I don't know where that news came from. It must have been like a rerun Howard Stern show.
Might have been.
Yeah.
How's that book? Have you been reading it?
Have not started yet. It's next.
Oh, it's next. Okay, cool.
It's next.
Wendy, is that you?
It's next.
Ah,
Yeah, hey.
There she is. Yay, we found her. That was weird.
Yay.
I don't think it was ringing on your end for some reason, but it was.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it's done that a few last couple days for people. I don't know why. It's very odd. You might have some setting like do not disturb setting or that's on that you don't know about or something. I don't know. Hey, sis, how are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I told you. I told you. See, we had this little thing before the thing that if I've never called you or Misha or Tara sis in my life. And so Brian wanted to see what would happen if you did it.
I was wondering how you'd react.
Yeah, and the way you reacted is exactly what I expected, which was like just right back at me. Like, okay, bro, here's the thing I never say. That was great.
Yeah,
that was good. Little experiment we had there.
Well handled. Yes.
Yeah, familial
Predictably
experiment.
myself. There we go.
Indeed. All right, I got to play your thing.
Something wrong, Batman? Has anybody seen Wendy?
Barnacles in a wad.
Here she is. It's Wendy, everybody. 1 week before the hallowed American holiday known as Thanksgiving, where the pilgrims came over in their dumb outfits and gave all the natives smallpox. Isn't that how it works?
That's what we're celebrating.
And they responded by sharing their corn. That's what I know about my memories of all things history tells me
Nailed
that.
it.
Yeah, failed it is right. All right, anyway, the reason I bring all that up is because that holiday is also famous here. I think certainly it's a U.S. holiday, so probably only here. But I'm sure if you went to like Thanksgiving and Canadian Thanksgiving, you might run into this. I don't know. But it's a time for extended family and people you haven't seen in a while, or people that maybe you even avoid throughout the rest of the year. You're all coming together around the table to have a meal and to be annoyed about the topics that come up. Or,
That's right.
or the things people say.
With the long list that everybody gets before they show up of which subjects cannot be brought up at dinner.
Right. Those might be politics. They might be religion. They might be any of those, hot button
Can't
issues.
bring up what happened last Thanksgiving, Uncle Dave.
Yeah, Uncle Dave. Never speak of Uncle Dave and his thing again. See? So all of that, for me every year it was, Wendy will probably understand where I'm coming from on this, but it was I always dreaded what dirty, dirty joke Uncle Joel was going to pull me aside and tell me in my ear. He did that every time we got together. Go, Scott, I got one. I got one for you. Geez. And I was like 9 or 10 when I remember these happening. And he would pull me aside and go, you know what happens when you take a prostitute and mix it with a frog or, whatever it was, like some weird, thing.
Wait, finish the joke.
There's no joke. I'm just making it up. But he would do that with his big ponytail and I never left the 60s attitude. And I half the time I wouldn't even get it. But then like 2 years later, somebody would like say something. I'd say, oh, that's like a joke my uncle told me. And I would say the joke. They're like, oh my gosh, you can't say that in a polite company. Like he was just always saying something. So that was always like a thing I dreaded a little bit. Just because it was weird. And then I would dread the weird underlying, I always felt like Mom and Susan were ready to just go at it. Like it just always felt like they were gonna fight any second, and I don't know why. It was like an underlying passive aggressive tone that just kind of lived in their relationship. She's my aunt, her little sister, basically, and I just always felt like they were ready to go to blows over something dumb, like the stuffing isn't moist enough or something dumb like that. Right. So anyway, I've over-explained this, but the point is we all have this. It's a thing. So here's a chance for us. We've done a little of this before, but a chance for us to talk about how to, I don't know, broach the event in such a way that perhaps makes it a more joyous event, less frustrating or less
or
contentious.
even diffusing techniques. If somehow the wrong topic gets brought up and you want to kind of steer the conversation back towards this is good stuffing.
Yeah, like let's just use an example. Let's say we all got together and Uncle Joel stood up and went, Donald Trump eats babies for breakfast. And then somebody who's totally pro-Trump would stand up and go, wow, that's only because Obama ate fetuses for breakfast. And, like whatever.
You're both wrong. They eat them both all day long for every meal.
Right. But in those cases, and this kind of stuff happens, like I have I don't know how much I should say, but I have somebody on, let's say one of the sides of the family. Say it that way.
Okay.
Who,
by the way, before we even get into this.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No. You know what? Finish that because this will fit afterwards.
All right. So my thinking or my deal was this. I've had somebody actually say the words to me, boy, and this is in the context of the time it happened, so think some years ago, but said to me, boy, I'd sure like to go over to the Middle East and kill me some Hajis myself. Okay? To my face said these words, expecting me to go, yeah, wouldn't that be great? Let's gun up and get over there. Like, I don't know what they expected me to do. But I was so, like, and that was at a Thanksgiving. And I remember thinking, I can't enjoy the cranberry stuff now. How can I enjoy this? I can't enjoy this turkey. Like, I kind of went full Seinfeld on it. I really couldn't enjoy it after that. So I guess there's my introduction. Wendy, let's talk about it. How do you want to, what angle are we taking today on this?
Well, back it up. Brian, what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, geez, God. Now, after what Scott said, it feels... I had a distraction technique that you could use. It's a joke. It's a Thanksgiving joke. You say, why'd the cranberries cross the road? And then they say, why? And you say, to get to the other sides.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So there's your distraction technique if you need one. But please, let's get to actual real help.
Yeah. Wendy's distinct lack of laughter does not hurt your joke, Brian.
No, I don't take that at all as...
Okay.
No, I was listening. Sorry, I was actually thinking of something else. That was rude. But your joke, I'm sure, was great. If you want to repeat it.
It was very good. It was dad jokey. It was awesome.
Dad jokey, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, real quick, I think your Southern accent might have given away which family side it was on. So careful. Okay. So this is, I think, if memory serves, this might be the 8th time we've had this discussion because we do this every Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's like it's a tradition here.
Tradition.
Yeah, like Thanksgiving itself. Sure.
We talk about how do you handle the family thing, and I think as time has gone on, I mean, the first time we talked about it, I was with our extended family having Thanksgiving, but I haven't been for the last 5 years. Yeah, this will be my 6th year.
Wow.
Anyway. So I don't have any of these problems. I just go hang out with friends I like and we eat good food and then we go home.
Yeah.
It's totally amazing. So which I think friend giving or whatever the takeover was, Friendsgiving, was kind of a response to some of this because it's complicated. But it's not really Thanksgiving that is the problem or Christmas dinner or New Year's Eve parties. It's, there's a lot of dynamics that go on in families, and the more we sort of spread out and have individual lives as sort of modern people do, you're less sort of, I guess, ready or calloused or tolerant of it when it sort of is thrust upon you and you have a whole day where you're like sitting around and the only thing you have in common at that moment is what you're eating, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think it's, it gets triggered for a lot of people. And so let's talk briefly about just some options to not go.
Ooh.
I mean, we haven't really talked about this before. We always talk about, you have to go and you go, and then let's tell you how to survive it, which we'll also cover.
Okay.
But let's just talk about this idea of, like, when should you not go?
Interesting.
So maybe have either of you skipped a family function because you just couldn't even, has that happened to you?
I'm trying to remember.
We might be skipping this meal.
I'm trying to remember if we ever did anything like that for like Christmas stuff. We can't because Mom would kill us if there's a mom thing we're supposed to go to. The thing is, she's bailed on us multiple times, so I can't really count those. But it's always funny how they're happy to bail and go to Miami or New York where family is, but when we do it, it's somehow we're besmirching the very Johnson name. But anyway, I think I'm trying to think one example of this. Actually, I don't really have a good one. This year, a bunch of people for Thanksgiving all have really sort of disparate plans. And so we're doing pre-Thanksgiving dinner with Mom and the family this Sunday at Misha's. And then...
I think it's Saturday. You should double check.
I meant Saturday. That's what I meant. It's before the... it's Sunday we have Kim's. That's what it is. Kim's family is Sunday. Ours is Saturday. And we're all doing it early because everybody's going to be split in different directions. So on actual Thanksgiving this year, for the first time ever, it's just me, Kim, Nick Carter, not Nick Carter, boy band of fame, Nick and Carter, Taylor, Dylan, and the baby. I mean, we're going to have just the immediates. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to it because it doesn't usually happen this way. But we're still fitting it in. Like, this whole weekend is just nothing but a nonstop barrage of of early
turkey.
Thanksgivings. Yeah. So
It's a lot of that meal. I mean,
it really is.
you think you want it more, but do you really want it 3 times in a week?
Right. I mean, the closest I can get to avoiding it, and I don't really necessarily want to. I want to, Misha's doing a big thing. Kim's making the turkey. Like, it's going to be good. But the funeral, the stuff we talked about last week with Danny Workman's passing, her funeral is this Saturday, which means I have to leave the family thing early to go to it. And then I think it'll be over by the time we're done. So there is still a little bit of that going on. But anyway, to answer your question, I've never outright avoided it, but sometimes you get lucky and the offending parties are somewhere else that year or whatever,
Yeah. And you never quite know. Yeah. Well, and if we had to rank our family Thanksgiving dinner against some people's, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. We had Byron peeing his pants a few times. I mean, there were things.
Great. Byron peeing his pants was always good. Byron is my grandma's boyfriend, just for the context, and he was great because Brian, this is the guy I told you about when we went to the care home and knocked on the door, and the red-haired lady came to the door looking all disheveled and half-dressed.
Oh, yes,
and then
right.
Byron walked up and his upper half was like a sweater and everything, but below that was Doodle was out. Like, what are you doing? Anyway.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was always something funny to laugh at, but I don't think we've ever had. This is like pre-political fighting at Thanksgiving. Like I don't think that was ever a thing for us.
Not really, no. Or if it was, we were ignoring it because we were too busy trying to see who could burp the quietest and stuff like that.
Right.
Like we had a weird. Wendy and I were. Well, I won't speak for you, but for me, Wendy was like my salvation from the adult side of Thanksgiving because I knew that we were just going to goof off. Like we'd have this contest: who could burp the quietest without an adult noticing, who could win at the stupid pull the what's the bone called? Wishbone apart thing.
Oh yeah.
Jokes the whole time. Like that was Thanksgiving to me. And as far as I know, the parents and the aunts and uncles and stuff were going all out on politics and religion. I don't know because I kind of ignored it. So that's one way to do it, by the way, is ignore it.
Yeah, be a child. Well, okay, so take this idea of like, I must go. There's some real power in, listen, I'm all like, yay families, don't get me wrong. But I think there's toxicity sometimes that obligation to be somewhere and sit through something might actually make some of your relationships worse. And sometimes people just need permission to not. Like, you do have the flu, don't go, or say you have the flu. But sometimes for your own well-being, there are years maybe you ought to skip some things or figure out a way to have maybe different boundaries for your own benefit. And I don't know, maybe no one needs to hear this and everyone just needs to hear the other, like, how do I get through it? But I think sometimes there are folks who don't recognize that they actually do have options, especially when they're adults. Mm-hmm. Maybe when you're 10, you don't have a great option there. But when you're an adult and it's going to harm you, maybe harm your partner, it's going to be, a kind of thing that like you don't know how to handle in a way that is healthy for everyone. Consider other options. And maybe it's too late. Everyone already has their plans. But I just feel like sometimes people need permission a little bit to just really consider themselves and the health of the sort of unit versus I do this because my mom will kill me. Well, maybe there's something in there.
It's the whole trip
look at.
It's all that car ride to Abilene thing, right?
Where right, yeah.
Everybody thinks they want to do it, but truly nobody does. But they're all doing it because they think they're supposed to do it. I think this is probably everybody's family, but I think our extended family is always in that car. We're always driving to Abilene, it feels like. And it's when somebody says, yeah, I don't want to go, or I don't want to be a part of this, there is a tendency for people to kind of turn on them. So would you say the way to do it is just like plan a trip and then just go on your trip and just not be there? Or say, you know what, 6 months ago we planned to be in Vegas on Thanksgiving. Sorry, everybody. Or like, how do you do it without you becoming now this weird, let's call you the gray sheep? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do think there is a difference between I just don't feel like going and like make a little sacrifice for your family because they want to see you. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm talking more about like real dysfunction and toxicity and pain, and it's all the clients who call me in January, basically, right? Like it really is very difficult for them.
Is that a thing, by the way, that you get an uptick in January from people?
Oh yes.
That's
very
crazy.
much so.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice in the sense of it's like I keep holiday hours as well because everyone else is keeping holiday hours. So it's not like I have and summer tends to be, people do a lot better in the summer. So it's kind of nice. But anyway, January is when they go, let me first talk about Thanksgiving. They're sort of going back to, and what it does. And the reason this happens is, so there's the like, oh, I don't want to drive that far, or is Uncle Joel going to be there and tell dirty jokes or whatever. But what I'm getting at is sort of there's already some significant dysfunction that you have distanced yourself from, and you're starting to maybe feel healthier and have better boundaries and et cetera. And going back is just incredibly difficult because we tend to get back in the roles we've always been in when we get put in those situations.
Right.
I always laugh at Adam's family because they're like pecking order of age. They don't live their lives that way, but when they're all together, I suddenly go, whoa, oldest son, here we go. Youngest daughter, okay. And everyone kind of plays their job. And they all seem a little annoyed by it, but it's something that just kind of happens naturally, right? Versus, so some of that happens, you get home, you feel like a kid again. You feel some of the feelings that maybe you have worked really hard to work through. And so that can be very triggering. For other people, maybe you're already just so enmeshed and it's problematic and you need a break. And there's all sorts of versions. I don't know what everyone, of course, their story is. But just to consider having a boundary and figuring out what that may look like. That may mean we're sick when we're not sick in order to salvage your mental health.
Right. Right.
I'm not telling everyone to lie about stuff, but and don't lie because you're lazy. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at let's like figuring out how to protect yourself.
Yeah, if every time you go, you get a lecture from your mother-in-law, for example, about the same thing, and she just pounds it into you every time, and she is not. You're learning from that interaction, but she's not. Like she's just not seeing any side but her side, or whatever it is. Like maybe that one year you could feel justified in saying, yeah, we're not going this year, Right. And in my case, here's my problem, Wendy. All right. I tend to be the one who speaks up and then takes a lot of heat for it. So like if somebody says to me, or if I see something happen, I'm like, that sucks. You shouldn't do that. Everyone else kind of go, oh, I can't believe it. I'm really glad he said that, but I'm glad it wasn't me that said that, but I'm really glad he said it. And then I look like the a-hole for a while. And I'm used to it. It's fine.
See, I've never ever seen it like that.
Right. Well, it's because you've been gone a lot, and I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I just mean that in the last 6-7 years, I feel there are definitely times where it feels like I am the only one saying anything, anytime, anywhere. And it's usually just me just being honest. Because Misha doesn't ever want to ruffle any feathers. She wants to make sure everything's cool. And I don't blame her. She's the sweetest person on the planet. And she doesn't want the conflict. And I get it. And she works to not have it. She accommodates and all that. Other people have their own takes on it. But in my case, I'm like, bah, this is dumb. Why are we doing it this way? This is dumb. And then like, oh, I can't believe Scott thinks it's dumb. Well, everyone thinks it's dumb. It's just Scott saying something about it. And so,
and maybe it's related to that I am actually not there because I feel like that's what I do.
You do it as well. No. That's what I was going to get at.
More on Scott to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say that when you're here, it's usually you. It's one of the two of us or both. And I don't know why that is, but it is. Like those that for whatever reason, that's the role we sort of have, and we do it. Now we also sometimes just suck it up and do the thing that's best for somebody, and we don't, because that's the right thing to do. But I do think there are times, I don't want to get into that story, but there's a story I could tell. Anyway, but there are times where it just feels like the right thing to do was to say something and to like get it out there and let that thing have some air. And usually what'll happen when I do that is everyone gets real quiet, and then about 4 days later, I get a text from somebody who's now back in Phoenix or something going, hey, I just want you to know, I think it's great that you brought that up. That was really good.
Chickens, you're all chickens.
Bunch of chickens. Anyway,
I know.
But
Well, I mean,
there is a skill. There is a skill in knowing when to do that and when not to do that, I guess is my whole point.
Right. And if everyone is having that feeling and they're all saying it, that's a lot of different people saying their thoughts out loud, and that's just a fun Thanksgiving dinner, right? Yeah. So maybe one of the strategies is everyone just doesn't on Thanksgiving. I mean, part of it is like really open, honest communication. Is most families don't have that as a strong point.
Yeah.
Right? It's often little dumb miscommunications about you brought the wrong thing or, whatever. And then we all just have to smile and act like it's fine when really you're frustrated. So there's normally things like that, right?
Right.
But really honest, open, like this is what you wouldn't have it flare up at Thanksgiving because you would have dealt with it before. So I think that's partly why it's like everyone's on the hot plate kind of situation.
Sure.
So I just wanted to throw out there's an option of, hey, don't go, but don't be blaming me when everyone in your family hates you. I'm just saying that having some permission to make decisions for your well-being is an option. And if you come from a kind of abusive emotional background, that option feels like something that doesn't ever exist, but it does. It really does. And a lot of people will talk about just finally finding healing when they have enough time away from that family dynamic. It gives them enough time to get on their own feet. And then sometimes they can go back to the family and reconnect. So I've had a lot of clients do that, sort of take a year or two break from communicating with certain members of their families. And a lot of really good stuff can happen from that, but it has to be done the right way.
Right.
Because I think the not right way, no one's working on their things and no one's working to communicate later. That break turns into 50 years,
Right.
So,
so
there's that sensitive. Don't quote me on any of that. Okay, so now we'll get to the what to do when you are there.
Yeah.
Because you went anyway.
Because you went anyway.
Because your wife made you, and you're just gonna do it.
Right.
So let's just help you guys help me identify. You've seen movies or maybe your own experience. What are the linchpin moments in a Thanksgiving day that is where you're going to run into conflict, run into the, oh my gosh, get me out of here. I hate this moment. Give me some sense of what you guys think those are. You can make them up.
Touch football with very competitive relatives.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah. You mean, so actually going outside and playing football as opposed to watching the game.
Right, yeah. Because when Wendy was, especially when Wendy was here.
Cowboys fan.
Sure, exactly. That could be a conflict too. But when Wendy was here before she went to Sweden, and pretty much every year, Wendy would always kind of spearhead the, hey, let's go out and play touch football. And we always did, and it was great. And I feel like nobody does that anymore since you left, by the way.
Right, because I'm the only child in the family.
Yeah, you're the only kid.
The rest
you're
of
the
your
only
own
one.
parts.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I missed that. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, so maybe somebody is just like rough and is ruining. It feels like they ruin that tradition, right? Because they just throw fits or throw balls at children. Yeah. Okay. So there's an example. So let's like name that a personality. Right. So a particular personality combined with a certain situation. Maybe they're nice otherwise, but they're just like awful when you're playing football. Okay. So I've set that aside. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Where else are these sort of crossroads where
how about
usually while the food is being served, seems like everybody's happy and calm and cool and
yes.
Yeah.
So everyone's when they're hungry, right? So that the hunger before is problematic, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But then it's the after oh, you want to play a game? Yeah, sounds good. And we start playing a game, and then something comes up of like, well, those snowflakes.
Yeah, something like that'll happen.
And you know what? It's the type of game. If you bring a game where people have to communicate clues to each other, like code names or taboo or things like that, where they've got to use their phrases that mean something to them to communicate their teammate to say a word. So way better to play something like Parcheesi, where it's dice and moving.
Yeah, so you could actually plan to keep out of games where you're like writing the name of a famous person on a piece of paper, putting it in a bowl, and then acting out who they are. Like it could trigger way more because you have different people's views. Yep. Okay. Good.
Right.
So just Chinese checkers and parcheesi and
Sure. That'll keep things easy. Now here's where it gets tough. Some of those same people, you're done eating, everyone's on the couch, chilling, whatever. There's maybe there's a football game on or something, and then somebody makes a play, and you're like, oh, that was cool. And somebody who does not like that team or that player says like maybe a barely veiled sort of racial comment about them. Because the black player gets, that guy. Well, you know why they run faster. Like somebody does that, let's say. Then what? Because this happens to me. This happens on the southern side of my family all the time. And I don't know what to do about it. Because
what do you do?
Part of me wants to go, dude, you are a racist turd. Don't say stuff like that and knock it off. You're just trying to get everybody to react. I want to say something like that.
But why don't you?
I mean, I have before. The answer is I have. And usually how do I put this? There's a combination of that being done, and it's combined with a little bit of a culture on that side of the family where people like to dust things under the rug and not talk about it.
Sure.
So, something happened way back when the great-grandfather owned a chicken farm, and there was some dark family secret that nobody wants to talk about. And they just won't talk about it. You just can't get them to say anything. And if you start to bring it up, there are times when my mother-in-law will just look. I'll say something that's hard for her to hear, and she'll look at the sky and go, "This is amazing weather we're having." And she'll say that immediately after I say it.
She's in the living room and doesn't.
Yeah, that kind of thing will happen. It's like, oh, look over here. They don't want to talk about the hard stuff. And
Shiny, yeah.
And one of the hard things is there might be somebody in the room who's a little bit, whatever. And so it's hard to face that. And here's the thing. I don't have a problem saying it. What happens, though, is the entire event is now, Scott said something. And now there's this thing hovering around where it would have been easier for people to just sort of pretend he didn't say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky. And part of it is you have to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to take down Thanksgiving or not? And here's the thing. That's why some people just can't do it, because they can't listen to someone do those things. That person might be doing it on purpose to get someone riled up. It's people find that fun.
I'll tell you what Carter did. Can I tell you what Carter did when someone said something racist or sexist or something? I can't remember what it was. She's pretty, tough 22-year-old broad, if I can use an old term that no one uses anymore. And
Sure.
she hears it and she stands up and goes, "No, okay," and went into the kitchen to help. So she kind of made a statement without saying anything. Really.
It's okay, boomer. Right?
Yeah, it's okay. Kind of an okay boomer a little bit. Although in this case it was okay, racist Gen Xer. Anyway, but she just sort of got up and left, and I thought, and I just kind of thought, oh, all right, maybe that's how to do it.
That's an option.
And he is really super annoyed by that and doesn't really, like it and like her as a result, because he knows that she just doesn't like him for all the things he says. But it's that, or just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and act like it's fine. I don't know.
Or it's that, and you do some deep therapy right there and just be like, what is this really about for you?
Yeah.
I dare you to do that. Anyway, okay.
Maybe I will.
What's it all about?
Look, I have three Thanksgivings in a row coming up. I've got ample opportunity.
You have so many chances. Okay, everyone in the chat room give Scott a dare for each one of those.
That's a bad idea. That's
no,
a
do
bad
it.
idea.
I love that. That'd be so funny. But, okay, but let's get to that. What you're describing is this. There's a 15-minute rule here.
Yeah.
In 15 minutes, no conversation is going to get so deep there's no way to get out.
Yeah.
No conversation is going to get so racist. Well, it could. I'm not saying it's impossible, but so here's a thought. If you are in a house, you don't really want to be there, you have an alarm go off on your phone every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so every 15 minutes you have, I got to take this call. Because whatever. You have an escape built in every 15 minutes. And if you don't need it, you don't need it. You just buzz it, turn it off, and there we go. Right. And then you have another 15 minutes.
Okay.
But nothing is ever going to get so bad in that short amount of time where you don't have any reason to get out of it. So Carter just goes, well, I don't care, but I stands up and leaves. Great, do that if you can. But if you feel like That is not a role in your family you dare to play or want to play. You just have this built-in hand technology that is buzzing in your pocket, and you just get up and you go. Or if you're a student, or there's some work stuff. I mean, there's some ways to build in break time too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're an introvert, this can be a really tricky holiday because maybe you really like everyone, but that's a long day.
Mm-hmm.
You're hangry, and then everyone wants to like interact and talk the whole time, and you just need to go sit on the washing machine at some point and like decompress. Go do it. Like, find a way to, you can take some breaks. You can not be constantly engaged, because what ends up happening is we get together as a family, we're doing our thing, and someone does something. It's like, think of it as like they've lobbed a ball, well, maybe it's a bomb, but they've lobbed it onto the table, and everyone has to choose. Do we pick it up?
Right.
Or do we just not? Right? And so you have to maybe it's a little more just intentionality or consciousness when you are there of like what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, but also recognizing your own proclivities, right? So my tendency, if someone says something that is garbage, I dig in, and that is not great, probably.
Well, it
but
depends.
also a lot of people quit when the other person digs in. So it never lasts very long, but there's a bit of just like, I can't help myself with certain topics, whereas I can help myself with a lot of other topics.
Sure.
So I just have to be more careful with those ones. And immediately, if I don't start talking, I'm fine. So if someone is saying something and I can just, my phone buzzes, or I can walk out of the room and engage with someone else, I'm good. Like, I don't care that they're doing that. I don't need to be a part of it. But if I'm there and I'm in charge of that social feeling in the room, it's over. I'm gonna run with it. And that's not great. And I think you and I both have a little of this, like, make sure the room's okay.
Yeah.
So it's hard for us to disengage because it's like unwritten rule in our contract that we need to make sure everyone is enjoying themselves and or having a quality
There also
discussion.
can't be any silence ever.
Yeah, ever. So that's a problem.
Oh, I hate
Obviously.
that
Listen
about
to it.
me. Yeah, I cannot be in a place. I mean, I can sometimes I can just really swallow it and make it happen, but I hate it when I'm in a place and the quietness. If it's pregnant pause, like there's an elephant in the room, kind of quiet.
Yeah.
I just can't do it, dude. I have to start. I'll just make stuff up. I'll just start going, hey, so anyway, what do you think of dragons? Dragons are cool. Like, I just can't do it. But okay, I'm going to make a commitment. Here's what I'm going to do.
All right.
If this person says something like, I can't wait to go to the Middle East and kill some Hajis, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say,
Okay.
I'm sorry, what? And I'm going to say it like that. I'm going to go, what? And I'm going to have a smile and kind of a half laugh in my response. And he'll say, what? And I'll say, did you say you want to go kill some Hajis in the Middle East? Did I hear that right? And he'll say, well, yeah. I'll go, all right, okay. And I'll just kind of sit back and grin. Like, I feel like I want to not make it, how do I put this?
It's diffusing it by kind of
Calling him on
like,
it, but also
With
not.
regret.
on it, but also joking, but also kind of like in a okay, in a
like,
funny
all
way.
right.
It gives them an opportunity to kind of think about what they've said and say, all right, maybe he's kind of left that off. Maybe it's an opportunity for me to kind of back off.
Right.
But they might also double down. But
yeah. What I can't do is just not say anything. I can't do it. It's
Right.
impossible.
What if you had him just repeat it and say it louder?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time just so I made sure I heard it right? Like that. And he won't do it. He won't do it. He'll
Yeah,
go,
exactly. Because you only whisper racist stuff.
Right.
There's a reason.
Or you do it to test who in the room is going to say
Exactly.
anything. Yeah.
I do this with NPR stories. Someone's like, oh, I heard this thing once. And I'm like, oh, that's an NPR story.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally
Like,
is.
you're secretly trying to see if someone is boring and progressive. That's what you're looking for.
Woke.
Oh, man.
Woke and sleepy.
I listen to- yeah,
But here's the thing. Yeah, you come up with your own strategies. I mean, I think it's important because what is your goal? I think a big part of this is like, what is my takeaway for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
What do I hope to accomplish? And if it's just like, I'm here to just have some like chill, eat a little turkey, connect with people that, whatever, then make the plan to do that. If you go in kind of knowing when you're going to leave, having your phone set to vibrate every 15 minutes or whatever, you just kind of prepare yourself a little before. I think a lot of folks just go in going, hope I don't die. You know, you can plan this a little better, and you know, you find your allies in the building. That always happens. And if you have no allies, maybe consider the first part of this conversation. Then
Yeah,
it's tricky. It's a tricky thing.
it is. I noticed that when things like this happen, my kids, even they're older now, but they all crowd around me, just mushed up next to me the whole night. Like, we'll be there and something awkward will be said, and I'll just start to notice everyone who I brought into this world is like hugged up next to me or squished in the chair next to me, kind of using me as a blockade, sort of looking at their phone and not anybody. You know, like they kind of use me as their shield. And that's an interesting dynamic because
they want to be in the within the Scott Johnson force field, basically.
Kind of, yeah. And I feel like in the case when they were growing up, especially when they were young, Taylor was really this way. I mean, anywhere we went to, it was funny because it was only usually that side of the family. She would just get all up on me and not butt, like just was attached to me the whole time.
Or they realize that the closer they are to you, they've got a bigger target next to them.
It very well could be.
Well, also you're going to soothe the situation and or defend something. So it's very protective, and
right.
You know, you don't want to take a silent person to a word fight. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Don't bring it. That's that old phrase. Don't bring a silent person to a word fight. If that's not in our title selections here at the end of the show, we're doing it wrong, guys. Get that in there. Well, anyway, I think this is good. I like that we touch on this every once in a while. It's just, you know, relationships are hard and they're complicated. A little twist today about maybe just don't go if it's super painful, and you know, you gotta make the call and figure out if you're just being lazy or don't feel like going. That's different than, you know, if you've got real issues with somebody. If you've got an abusive uncle who's just an a-hole and treats you like garbage, you know, why subject yourself to that?
Right.
But if you're just like, I don't feel like talking to people, maybe you're the problem. So
yeah, maybe it's you.
Yeah.
So I have a suggestion for people. If they want to get in the right mindset, they need to binge listen to what the heck is it called now? I just finished an episode of it. The Dolly Parton's America.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys listened at all?
No, I hear it's good though. I've heard good things about that.
Fantastic. So it's Jab Amiron who does
Radio Lab and stuff. Yeah.
So it's a little bit of his normal style, but it's like kind of personal for him because he's from Tennessee. You know, this guy from Lebanon growing up in Tennessee.
Yeah, his Lebanese immigrant parents.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think it's Lebanon. Anyway, he is. It's really good, and this last episode that just came out a day or two ago, or whatever.
Yeah.
Is amazing. It's called Dolitics, and it's kind of how she handles politics. And I have never thought I'd be crushing on Dolly Parton, but she is one amazing human being. Anyway, and her ability to just like, you know, they keep talking about like who's at her concerts, and it's everyone.
Yeah.
It's drag queens and evangelicals, and you know, it's everybody side by side at her concerts because she makes everybody feel safe, and she's amazing. So listening to it, I was thinking, you know, we could all take a few lessons from Dolly.
She's great. I love her. I still think Jolene's one of the greatest songs ever written. I love that song.
And here is what I just learned. Sorry, spoiler alert. You can plug your ears if you're going to listen to the last episode, but this is nutso. In prison, Nelson Mandela, when he was imprisoned in that political prison, right? And they're tortured, they're beat, the guards are terrible to them.
Right.
And they are isolated, and it's awful. After however many years, of course, you know, they start to like him because he's amazing. And they let him play music, sometimes in the evenings, for other prisoners. And guess what he played?
What?
Jolene.
Oh, no way.
Oh, really?
Like, what?
That's great.
She's magic. Anyway, it's really good stuff. And I feel like I keep having this thought, maybe it's problematic, where I'm like, I would like to go to a gathering where everyone has already listened to the same podcast.
Yeah.
And we all have the info, we all felt something, we're all, you know, it's kind of like a book club. Everyone's read the book and you're all going to sit and discuss it, right? But like some of these podcasts that are just touch on these really cool ideas and people's ability to I'd just be amazing. And I don't know, it'd just be fun. So maybe everyone, so Scott, one of your Thanksgivings of your 3, get everyone to listen to Telling Parts
Okay,
America.
yeah, I'll get that going. I know.
Because I'd like to observe.
And you know what? She's got, those country roots. She's from the South. Maybe we can find a little common ground there. Yeah.
Right.
100%. And she has some power. And yet, she wrote 9 to 5. I mean, she's like an activist without being political in so many which ways. She's amazing. You just need to listen to it. I'm
gonna totally check it out. I've been meaning to anyway. I like Jad Abumrad a lot, and I like the stuff he does that's not connected to Radiolab. I love they have what's it called? It's all about major stuff that ever happened in the Supreme Court over history.
Oh, it's so good.
What's that called? It's got the hear ye in it. Hear ye, the court, honorable. He has this great intro for it. I can't remember the name of it.
Do you know what? There's no such thing as the internet to look it up.
Black Robes. Blackrobes.com. No, I don't know what it is. But anyway.
That's not it.
It is really great. Really great. It's very historical. If you're not into that, it's boring. But it's not, because I love that stuff. It's really good. Yeah. Anyway, well, this is good stuff. Wendy, as always, a pleasure. I guess next week, no show, because it will literally be Thanksgiving that day.
Literally. Every year, it's always the same.
Yep.
We don't talk on Thanksgiving.
Nope.
Weird how this always seems to fall. Like your segment always seems to fall on Thanksgiving.
Huh. Almost like she planned it so she could avoid being with us on Thanksgiving.
It's true.
What are you guys doing? The friends and things?
We were actually going to go to Kentucky, but we're going to meet some friends from Florida. They were going to all drive. It was exactly 10 hours in between is Louisville.
Oh.
So we were going to rent a house and do dinner and all that. And then that cold spell that just happened, their house they recently bought got down to 29 or 30 degrees in Florida.
Oh, no.
And
that's not good.
Their heat didn't work at all because apparently you can sell a house in Florida when the heat doesn't work and no one will ever know. So anyway, they had to shell out like $6,000 to fix it. And she's like, "Can we not go to Kentucky?" So anyway, we canceled, and so we're just hanging out here, and we have dinner with some friends, and we're just gonna do my football thing and pick our noses. But
you're gonna make him go out and play. That's great. You should do that.
We are, but please keep your wishbone. So I plan to maybe be in Salt Lake sometime this winter, and we won't have to wait a whole year.
Then.
I always keep that bone. The last one was like 2 years old, and I felt like it was going to disintegrate. Yeah, it was not good.
But who won again?
Who cheated again? Who cheated again is the question. I don't know who cheated, but it wasn't me. All right. It's Wendy Dunford, everybody. You can find her on Twitter at Therapy Thursdays, and also on Instagram at Wendy Dunford. And you can also find therapythursdays.com if you want to send her a message or a question. She can certainly take those. We also take them to our email account. Wendy, anything else before we cut you loose today?
Nothing. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And one last warning, no Splenda.
Yeah, no Splenda. It'll give you the runs.
Gives you grumpy guts.
Yep, grumpy guts.
Bye.
Yeah, you'll poo a lot.
I forgot to bring that up with her early on.
Oh, right.
Thing.
We were supposed to. Yeah, that's all right. There's always a
we had
future
plenty
show
to talk about. Yeah.
Don't worry. All right, that is it for today's show. Thank you all for joining us. I love Thursdays. They're always fun. Take us in interesting directions. The direction we're going now is out, though. We'll be back tomorrow with a PM edition of the show brought to you by your support at patreon.com/TMS. Please keep that up. And you can find everything else you need to know, how to contact us, all the old shows, all that stuff at frogpants.com/TMS. By the way, that includes an RSS feed that has all the old shows that aren't 200 of the most recent, because that's what's on the main feed is the 200 most recent. Every day a new one goes in, an old one goes out, and it goes to an archive feed that is available. You just have to go subscribe to it, and you get
that's good.
Yeah.
Geez, do you have some automated way of doing that, or do you have to manually do that business?
I kind of do that part manually. I wish there was an easier way to do it, but I don't mind doing it because I know people want those archives, but the archive file is like 4 megabytes.
It's too big.
It's just too big, and you might say, well, 4 megabytes isn't that much in 2019. It is when 30,000 people hit it a day, and your bandwidth starts to get really expensive. So anyway, that's why that's where it is, and just always like to mention that. Brian, you probably brought music.
Sir.
Let's play.
I brought a song. I brought a song for us to leave with. Yeah.
Great. Great.
Should we play it?
Yeah.
We're ready for it?
Yeah,
okay. All right. Good. Albert wrote in, said, "I want to request a cover of Dreamer, originally by Ozzy Osbourne. The only one I could find is by Daniel Russell, but any cover will be fine. I'm requesting this because the cat is The cat is getting in front of my screen here.
Oh no. Kitty. Kitty.
Goodbye, kitty.
Go eat some cables.
I'm requesting, yes, that's probably why she does it, as retaliation. I'm requesting this because I think it's a good song to hear with all of the shit, sorry, Nicole, going on in the world today. He actually wrote all that. The song gives me a little hope that we will all get along eventually. Thank you, Albert from Maryland, a.k.a. Mayor McCheese, Mayor McCheese, in the chat room.
Nice.
Spells it. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a great big hamburger head is what he's got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad it fits very well with today's Therapy Thursday. So good choice on this song. Yeah, the version that he found is the only version I could find either. The version by Daniel Russell. It takes out the Ozzy echo, the reverb on Ozzy's voice, and changes up things a little bit. But it's still a really sweet song. Daniel recorded it for the album Life in the Jetstream back in 2013. Here is his cover of Ozzy Osbourne's Dreamer.
See you guys tomorrow. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
It's chicken. It's fried chicken. It's fried chicken.
I love that kid. I just love him.
I kind of like that kid. I know. It's fried chicken. What?
Yeah, what do
Coming
you
out here
want?
for free chicken. What?
Yeah, he knows what's up. He knows what he wants.
Exactly.
All right. Brown under with Splenda diarrhea. I don't know if that'll make it anywhere, but nice job, Monkey Bananas.
Oh, it should make it.